Alright, you guys, we had fun reading some Reddit posts and stories in general. They are pretty insane, right? But there is a subreddit which is called Confessions. I just know that one holds the most deepest, the most juicy stories ever, or just personal experiences. Let's get started, you guys. This is actually an Am I the A-hole post, and this is Am I the A-hole for seducing my ex's older brother and ruining their family. The title is so straightforward and absurd, and I'm just so confused, and I'm so excited to read this to you guys. It will be my first time reading it, so we'll get to react to it together. I honestly don't know how to get around it. It's been a couple of weeks and I'm generally confused as what I did and if there are things I should or could have done differently. Anyway, this is going to be a long one, so buckle up, grab a snack, and bear with me. You guys, I have my blankie here today with me just to calm me down because I know these are going to be crazy. So grab your snack. This is going to be a long one and we love long ones. I, 27 female, was in a rather bad relationship for about 4 to 5 years back. It was a textbook toxic relationship, and there are a few things in life that I regret as much as I regret staying in it for a year and a half, which was a year and a half too much. Alright, right off the bat, it sounds like a very toxic relationship from the jump of the story. I'm already feeling a serious tension building up, and I'm actually wondering if it's going to get worse. Just to give some context, this person, let's call him Chad, was a year older than me. We met in college, became friends, and eventually grew closer after we both graduated. Anyway, the initial courtship period was a dream, which I now realize was a severe love bombing. Love bombing. I've been there, done that. It's so easy to get swept up when someone's showering you with so much attention, right? But looking back, you see for what it really is, and it just sucks. Sometimes it's just so unnecessary and it's so fake, and you could really tell. It's like he worshipped the ground I walked on. He showered me with compliments, small thoughtful gifts, handwritten letters, the works. I was smitten. However, one point of the contention since day one was his insecurity. How he didn't believe he got someone like me, or how people apparently looked at us weirdly because they couldn't believe he landed me. I don't like those type of relationships. I completely understand, like, you could be really shocked on how you could have gotten someone, but if you keep repeating that, it probably shows off insecurity, especially coming from a man. That's probably not a good look. I can imagine. It's definitely amazing. It feels great at first, but sometimes that could look insecure, especially to other people. 5 months into the relationship, things took permanent turn for the worse. His insecurity was through the roof. I wasn't allowed to have any guy friends. There was constant nagging regarding my body, clothes, taste in music, the way I spoke, everything. Well, okay, yeah, so 5 months in, he's already controlling her body, like her friends. That sounds like a really, really bad toxic relationship that you need to run away from as soon as possible. That is seriously messed up, especially controlling how you talk. That is just a really big sign of insecurity from what I know. Also, I realized he has an alcohol problem and constantly micro-cheated. So he's cheating. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is just an insecurity issue. He thinks like he landed you because you are so much out of his league, and now he's trying to prove a point at this point, right? This is really annoying. I have seen so many situations like that. Thankfully, nothing like that happened to me, but this is so ridiculous. Engaging with his exes over late-night video calls, flirting with anyone and everyone under the pretext of friendship. He was my first, so I was extremely attached and couldn't leave until he finally cheated on me with someone he apparently saw a little sister and grew up with. I can't believe I lost my self-esteem and peace over a guy built like a wet cigarette, but I digress. Now coming to this older brother, let's call him Dan. Dan has always been polite with me, acknowledging me with max a nod or a smile or hello. However, Chad was really uncomfortable with these interactions because A, Dan was very private and had never spoken to any of other his girlfriends. B, Dan has told him on a few occasions that I was too good for him and he shouldn't screw up. Okay, now coming from the main issue of how I apparently seduced Dan. 7 months ago, I moved to a different city from work. I live alone in a 2-bedroom and my house is a go-to hangout spot for the few friends I've made here. Not like a party spot, but like a glass of wine, good food, safe space kind of spot. I love cooking and hosting people. My friends definitely reap the benefits and I am the mom friend. Anyway, about 4 months back, one of my friends was supposed to come over and she asked to bring a friend who recently gone through a breakup. I didn't mind. When they showed up, I realized that this friend was Dan. We were both surprised and visibly uncomfortable, and a few moments after settling down, he randomly blurted out that he knows his brother did me dirty and he would understand if I wanted him to leave. This statement actually helped to cut tension in the room and I was okay with him being over. After all, he had always been nice to me and I had really good relationship with my ex's family, so I didn't ask him to leave. The three of us got drunk, consoled Dan, and talked the night away. It does give some signs that the brother may like her, and that's just my point of view at this point. Maybe he's trying to get her, but obviously it doesn't seem like he knew that he was going to this house, so I would not assume that, but he seems very polite at first. We'll see how this goes. They are drunk, so this could get really messy really quickly. This started becoming a frequent affair, not the drinking though, with them coming over at least 2 to 3 times a week. At times, Dan would stay even after the other friend left, usually for dinner because he missed home-cooked food. I didn't mind. Wow. Wow, okay. I mean, he does seem like he's very comfortable with you, girl. Now the friend who would come over with him went out on town last night, and this is when I think I would have acted differently. Dan started showing up alone for these weekly dinners now. He would come way early and try to help me cook and stay really late, usually not even getting up to leave until I dropped several hints. On the last of these occasions, he shows up with my favorite wine and food as sort of a thank you for being such a good friend despite everything. He seems very nice for now. He does seem like you are his current priority. He's probably trying to hit on something and you are noticing it's obvious, but you are dating his brother, right? Well, at least dated before. We eat, drink, we talk, and drink some more. And it's pretty late. When Dan tells me he drove to my place that day, he usually awails cabs and he's too drunk to drive back, so if I could let him crash at mine. I hesitantly agreed, given had a spare room and also there wasn't any other reasonable option, to be honest. This is when things started getting worse, I think. This is a long story, you guys, but you know, this is so weird. He started talking about what he thought of me and when we first met me and presenting rather detailed observations about me from the time I dated his brother and the loads of other stuff. Some compliments, some vulnerable statements, so very awkward jokes, etc. After a little while, he tried to kiss me. Huh? I mean, I was actually waiting for that moment because it does seem like he's getting too comfortable. Like I said, he likes you. This is super clear, but it doesn't sound like you are seducing him. Not like leaning in to kiss me, but more like suddenly occurred to him he should do it. So he grabbed my face and tried to kiss me. I pushed him away and went numb for a minute and then slowly went to my room and locked my door. I couldn't think and I felt extremely hollow. I lay in bed awake for the remaining night. The next morning, he was gone before I woke up. 3 days after the incident, I get a call from an unknown number and pick up, realize it's my ex. He is wailing hysterically, screaming over the phone, calling me up for seducing his brother and that I ruined his family and his relationship with his brother and that I did a hideous thing for revenge, which is way worse than what he did to me. Ugh, that manipulative piece of shit. There was a lot of name-calling accusations because his brother wasn't talking to him and his dad refused to get involved, so he feels completely abandoned. I didn't say a word and hung up, shaking. Turns out Dan had left the night and called Chad, cussing him out for ruining his chances with me, telling him he always had a thing for me and knew Chad didn't deserve me. So am I the a-hole for seducing and leading on to my ex's older brother? I'll let this sink in for a sec, you guys. First of all, the ex calls her so many words that he is, unfortunately, dude, your brother is the one who likes your girlfriend, right? Your ex-girlfriend. The dude literally cheated, and then he's accusing her of being what he is, actually. The guy is wild. Chat needs to go to therapy. He is psycho, and people like that need to literally work on themselves. They have too much ego, and they think if they scored a woman that everyone tells them they deserve, they probably want to do something bad to her, so they drop down that score level, whatever. I'm sure you know what I mean. It works with people who are narcissistic, so sounds super narcissistic in that sense. Let's read some comments, you guys. You're not the a-hole. He was pursuing you with the intent of date or hookup. That's why he brought up the wine and drove. It was an excuse to stay. I think he pursued you taking advantage of the situation and your sympathy. I suggest avoiding this entire family. They don't seem to make the best choices or handle relationships, friendships well. Yeah, I understand where OP is coming from, honestly. This sounds so funny. OP does sound a little bit naive to me, right? But that's completely okay. You wouldn't think about these things because you see this person on a weekly basis, like really often, so you wouldn't think it twice. Since it didn't happen so many times, right? It didn't happen so often, you probably didn't think about the car, so this was just a casual date. But yeah, him expecting for you to be kissing you, this is horrible. I don't like that. And then he got upset that you rejected him, kind of, which makes no sense. Why would he think you would not reject him? I don't know. Yeah, so guys, I completely agree with the commenter at this point, because literally this whole family is psycho. You need to run away. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section, but for now, well, let's check the other one. That was wild. She cheated on me after 10 years while being pregnant, and the baby wasn't even mine. Huh? This is a very, very recent post, you guys. That is crazy. I, 31 male, was married to who I thought was the love of my life. We have been together for 6 years, married for 2. Last year, she got pregnant and I was over the moon. I did everything I could to support her. I worked extra hours, took a temporary job that required some travel just to make sure that we would be financially stable when the baby arrived. Sounds solid. The title doesn't sound solid though, I'm sorry. During one of the business trips, she started acting distant. I chalked up with the hormone stress, whatever. I kept trying to reassure her that I was doing this for us. I'm so sorry. That sounds horrible. You seem like you're doing so much OP, and reading the title just scares me to continue what's going on in this situation. 3 months before the due date, I came early to surprise her. What I found was her in our bed with another man. She cried, begged, said it was one-time thing. I wanted to believe her. I tried to, but my gut kept screaming that something was off. After the baby was born, I noticed the kid looked nothing like me at all. I pushed the doubt aside for a while, but eventually I got a DNA test. 0% match. Was it the father? No. What do you... Girl, the audacity of you doing this in your own house while your husband is working for the baby, for you, for the family, and the baby's not even his? Crazy. I have no words. My entire world collapsed in a single sheet of paper. I divorced her, cut all contact. It's been months, but I still feel broken. I lost a wife, child I thought was mine, and a future I worked so hard to build. I haven't told anyone this in real life, just needed this to get off my chest. OP, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry that this happened. That is disgusting. I'm so glad that you got this off your chest, but I just know this was so difficult to go through. Guys, let me know your reaction in the comments, because this is crazy. I have no words to say. She cheated. She brought a guy to the house and the baby is not even his. Yeah, I would definitely also cut off all the contact as well. I won't be able to blame him. There's only so much a person can take, and this is not making it less painful. I'm so sorry, OP. This whole situation is just so messed up. Betrayal at the deepest level, in my opinion. It's one of these things that you could never be prepared for. And no matter how much you think you could be ready for it, you would never be prepared for something like that, especially when you're trying to build something from scratch this way. 6 years completely erased. Let's read some comments. You're one tough bastard. Hang on in there, mate. Yeah, I feel like everybody in the comments are going to be speechless at this point, because I am speechless, you guys. Nostalgia is quite a tragedy, and it's kind of a social media where we remember all the good moments, and they tend to overwhelmingly drown the bad ones. You may have lost a wife, but you got to keep your self-respect, and you didn't mortgage your future trying to salvage a relationship with someone who probably didn't see you the same way you saw them. I'm sorry what happened. No one deserves to be cheated on, but it is time to look forward and move on. Do it for yourself. Yeah, I'm honestly shocked and I'm devastated. This is horrible, and I'm sure OP will be fine. I'm sure OP was okay and still okay at this moment. He's going to be fine at building a new life with someone else who deserves it for sure. I accidentally became friends with a girl I was low-key jealous of. Okay? When I first met her, I wanted to dislike her. She was gorgeous, witty, and somehow always had her life together. Can't say my life looks like that with my panic attacks. The one night while we were in high school party at our friend's house, I went to the bathroom to cry because I found out my boyfriend cheated on me a few days before the party. She was there. She didn't even flinch. She just handed me a tissue, tilted my chin up, and said, "Girl, he was mid anyway." That is how our friendship started. Now we are sending each other memes at 2 a.m, trauma bonding over bad exes, planning matching Halloween costumes. I still don't know how it happened. That's just how it happens. I literally know one girl that really hated me. You guys, that girl disliked me so much in high school because her ex-boyfriend, he used to like cheat on her, right? And unfortunately, and he would always talk to me in front of her, and it was obvious that he was trying to flirt with me, which I completely hated. I was really on her side all the time. I made it clear to her that I'm not interested, but she hated me anyway. Like, she hated me, not her boyfriend, which is typical. But then she figured out I was literally just trying to be respectful towards her, so I completely ignored him. He was being a complete 8-hole, and I've heard so many stories on how she wanted to actually revenge everything on me, but then I realized she was just jealous, which is okay. That is a really typical and a normal reaction to these things, but I definitely don't recommend it because she was really angry, guys. She almost killed me. But now we are friends, and it's been over 10 years, so that is okay now. We don't talk anymore though, don't worry. I still don't know how it happened. One day I was suddenly competing with her in my head, and next I'm helping her choose nail polish colors and threatening to fight anyone who makes her sad. Of course, I never told her that on the beginning. I was jealous of her and I didn't like her. Listen, sometimes that's just how it happens, right? That girl that I told you guys about, she literally wanted to poison me, and I am really thankful she didn't. That was crazy. She said that she was really angry at me, that's why. Jealousy turned into loyalty is a character development. Just don't forget to tell her she saved you that night. For real. Exactly, she knows that. A couple of months ago, we were just talking about how we became friends, so that was a great opportunity to tell how much she helped me that night, like an angel hand. I'm so happy. OP, that's a great story. That is an amazing story. Mine is a little bit more toxic, but that is an amazing story. Really good confession. And it sounds like it ended on really good terms, right? Honestly, I sometimes think on how sometimes people we think we are competing with end up being our greatest allies, and that is the best thing ever. Guys, let's read the next one. Finally. The subreddit confessions. She's madly in love myself, but I'm not. Hey again, Reddit. I have posted here before, but I'm back because I really need some advice on a situation that's gotten uncomfortable quickly. A few days ago, I met this girl. She's really sweet, attractive, and honestly seems like a good person, but things have escalated way too fast for me. In just a matter of days, she already started calling me handsome non-stop, constantly complimenting especially my eyes, and threatening me like we're already deeply in love. The other day, she straight up mentioned our wedding, not as a joke, like seriously talked about it as if it were given. At first, I was trying to be polite, so I'd matched her energy here and there because I didn't want to come off cold and rude, but I realized that might have made her think I felt the same way. I don't. There's something about the whole situation that feels off. I totally agree why he's uncomfortable. She's showering him with compliments and, things are getting pretty quick. So I understand, that's something that you do in a relationship that is really young, right? To be clear, she hasn't done anything bad, but there's noticeable age gap. She's older than me by a decent amount. And while that is not necessarily a deal breaker, it does add to the weirdness of the dynamic. Something about the way she latched on so quickly is making me feel uncomfortable. And my gut is telling me that this isn't a situation I want to be in. Yeah, see, if there is an age gap and she's definitely older than you, I completely understand why you would feel uncomfortable, right? Sometimes things could feel off balance. And listen, some women do want to get married quicker if they're older. So that would probably scare younger dudes, right? But I understand. So make sure that you let her know that though. The hard part is she's generally kind and seems really emotionally invested already. I don't want to hurt her or make her feel embarrassed for being open with her feelings, but I also don't want to lead her on. I have been delaying the conversation, but it's getting harder to keep up the act without being dishonest. And the longer I wait, the messier it's going to get. So here I am. If anyone in this similar situation, how do I gently tell someone you're not interested, especially when they're already fantasizing about your future together? I want to be clear without being cruel. Appreciate any advice. Listen, you just have to be straightforward at this point. She's older than you and she is ready. She seems ripe. So it's really, really important that you guys are being honest with each other. You just have to say the way it is, bitter or not. Note, I have been working on myself by talking to girls, etc., but I don't feel this one. I completely understand. If you don't feel this one, that is okay. Just say how it is. Be straightforward. And sometimes older women, they completely understand what that means. It is a tough one, right? It does seem like you want to be nice to her and she seems like she's ready. You could definitely explain to her that this is something that scares you and this is not something that you are ready for. And since she did mention that, it kind of ruined the dynamic of the relationship. So that's how you should bring it up. This is being gentle, but it's also a really good approach at just ending the relationship. That is my advice, OP. So good luck to you. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? What would you do in a situation like that? I think I gave a pretty good suggestion, but let's read some comments, right? Trust your gut and proceed with caution. That is a good one too. This leave and run before you invest too much, right? You don't want to invest in too much into the relationship, especially if you don't feel it right away. She is love bombing. Big red flag. I wouldn't say it's love bombing, but it's more of I said, right? If she's older, she's probably ready for a more serious relationship, and therefore that's why she's pushing it pretty quick. So it's understandable, but I completely agree that could be a really uncomfortable situation, so that it just adds in the weirdness into the dynamic. So yeah, run before it gets too late. Alright, you guys, this was all for today. I really hope you liked this video. These confessions were crazy for a fact. I'm going to go for now, but make sure you check out all the links in the description. I also have a beauty channel, you guys, so make sure you check that one out as well. We upload there really often. We by mean we and Leviza, beauty Leviza. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching, but for now, bye.